I'm Andrea Giles, and you're listening to the Heal from Infidelity podcast, episode number 7, Your Plan B. Hello, and welcome to the Heal from Infidelity podcast, where courageous women learn not only to heal from their spouse's betrayal, but to become the boldest, truest, most decisive, and confident versions of themselves ever. If you know there's more for you than the life you're currently living, but don't quite know how to get there, you are in the right place. Stick around to learn how to create a life that will knock your own socks off. Is it possible? It is, and I'm here to show you how. I'm your host, Andrea Giles. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Hello, my friends. Welcome to episode number 7. I'm so glad that you're here. I am recording this podcast from my office on a rainy Monday. It happens to be Labor Day, and I am hiding out getting this recorded so I can get this to you. So my husband is awesome, and he took the kids out for a little while so I could have a quiet house. Did you know that it can be a little bit distracting to record a podcast with kids running around? I'm sure that I will get better at it with time, but yeah, sometimes it can be a little bit distracting. So he took the kids, and here I am ready to talk to you today. So before I dive in, I want to thank you so much, all of you, for listening, for downloading, for subscribing, for leaving reviews. It's kind of blowing my mind to see the reviews come in, to see how many downloads I have. It's very humbling and really, really cool to know that people are listening and that it's helping them. I made this to help people. So to see that it actually is getting in the hands of people who need help is so, so rewarding. So thank you so much, and keep sharing it with people. Keep listening, keep sharing so that the people who need it can find it. But thank you so much again. So on today's episode, it's all about Plan B. Okay, we all had a Plan A. This is what we're going to do. We're going to get married. We're going to be married forever. We're going to just sail off into the sunset, have our kids, have a nice life, right? If you're listening to this, you probably have not had that reality, right? There's been some hard things that have been thrown your way that have forced you into looking at different ideas, different plans, and today we're going to talk about that, okay? So to start this topic off, I want to give you an analogy, okay? So let's say you live in one house and you know this house very, very well. You know all about the leaky roof. You know about some of the cracks in the tile. You know that the windows can be drafty in the winter. You know about the loud neighbors. But you also know about the pretty woodwork and the beautiful entry, the close walk to school, and the cute backyard that you've made a lot of memories in. So let's say you're looking at another house and you see that this house is a little bit bigger, that it doesn't have drafty windows, but that the bathrooms are small, the yard's a little bit smaller, but it's a wonderful neighborhood with wonderful neighbors, and you think that you might like that too. Now, you could stay in house number 1 and be perfectly fine, right? You could go to house number 2 and be fine. But what the point is here is that we're not choosing house number 2 because we hate or dislike house number 1. We're choosing house number 2 because we prefer to have these issues over these issues. We know full well the problems with each house, and we know full well the things that we really like about each house, and then it comes down to a personal preference. Which house would I rather live in? But we're not ignoring the things that we don't like about either house, and we're not ignoring the things that we do. We are seeing them in broad daylight and then making a decision. Okay, so how does that relate to infidelity? Let me explain. I work with clients sometimes who are wanting to stay married to their husband. They know that they really love their husband, but they are not sure if they're staying for the right reasons, okay? So sometimes people stay in their marriages because they are afraid of thinking about the alternative. They're afraid of going, what would I actually do? How would I actually live? But then there's the problem of, do I really want to stay here, or am I staying here because it feels a little bit easier? That's the question, right? So I like to think of choosing as a form of agency. It is agency, okay? And there's passive agency and there's active agency. Passive agency is where we kind of just do the default thing. Yes, we're choosing it because we're living it, right? But we're living it as the default mode. Passive thinking is often fear-based. There's a lot of fear behind it. It's like, I have to be here because ... Active choosing is where there might be fear. It's probably totally present there, but it's not driving. The fear is not driving. You are intentionally choosing, even if it feels really uncomfortable to do so. You really know what your options are, and you're choosing very deliberately. A deeper form of choosing is when you're choosing with your eyes wide open. And the thing about choosing from this space is that trust is built here. Trust is definitely not built where you think you have no other option. So a client saying to me, I don't have a choice, I couldn't make it on my own, is not actually choosing, right? That's passive choosing. Being afraid to look at the other options leads people to feeling stuck. Another problem that comes up with that kind of thinking is that there's often judgment for staying. So for example, I've heard this comment before, what does it say about me, or what does it mean about me that I'm willing to stay when all of these things have happened? Does it mean that I'm weak? Does it mean that I'm too afraid? And so there's judgment there. And so this is where I take my clients through an exercise where they are actually really clearly, deliberately figuring out their plan B. What this looks like is involving all of their senses. It's getting to a place where you feel the emotion of stepping into the plan B. There might be fear. There might be serious discomfort. There might be excitement too. There might be clarity too. It's going to that place and going, okay, so with this client who is wanting to stay in her marriage, but she's not sure if she's staying just because she's afraid of the alternative, it would mean taking her brain to the alternative, going there, going, okay, if I left this marriage, what would that actually look like? What would I actually do? Where would I live? How would I take care of my kids? What would I do financially? What would that look like? Like really, really going there and taking your brain there, feeling the fear, feeling the doubt, and getting clear, crunching numbers, getting out a calculator and figuring out numbers. What would I need to do? How could I provide? If I knew that I needed to make this amount of money, what would I do? If I knew that I would want to live somewhere with this kind of support, where would that be? What would I pick? And really stepping into that fully and feeling it. Now, the beauty of that is that once you've done that work and really stepped into it, you can see what your actual choice is. You can go, okay, I can stay here and make it work here by doing these different things, by showing up in these different ways, by supporting myself in these ways. I can also make that work. I can also go over there and make it happen. And what's amazing about this is that we show up differently in where we are if we know that we can do something else anytime we want. We show up differently. We show up as somebody who has actively chosen it. So I've had a client say to me, well, wouldn't my husband be hurt and upset if he knew that I was thinking about this, if he knew that I was like planning it and really deliberately thinking about it? And this is what I said to her about this. I said, would you want to be chosen because the thought was there's no other choice? I'm just kind of stuck here. Most of us would say no. Most of us want to feel chosen. Most of us want to feel like I could do all of these things. I could be with all of these people, and I pick you. And I reminded her that it might mean a lot to him to know that you could be somewhere else, that you could make it by yourself outside of the marriage, and that you are choosing to stay. And she resonated with that. She understood that. Now, what if you find yourself in a situation where he left and where you are left alone? You might think that they made the choice for you and that you have no choice. I want to remind you that you always have a choice. You have so much choice. What would your plan B look like? Let's go there. You could choose if you want to stay single forever. You can choose if you want to trust again. You can choose to be upset and bitter, or you can choose to find the reasons to move forward and to love your life. You get to create all of that. What if him not choosing you gives you the biggest opportunity of your life to take a stand for yourself and choose you? What if that is the greatest gift that comes out of it, is that you, for the first time in your life, choose you? No matter what, you've got your own back. No matter what, you can take care of yourself. No matter what, you can handle your own negative emotions. You can handle not people-pleasing and really stepping into who you are as the powerful, strong woman that you are. What if that is your plan B? And what if it took plan A not working for you to own and choose plan B? Would you be willing to step into that? Many women choose to stay in plan A and in the pain of plan A not going right. Like, let's say your husband leaves and years go by and you feel like life did you wrong. I know that it can be easy for your brain to go there, right? It can be easy. It can feel very true, can feel very valid. But what is the fruit of staying in that? How is it serving you? What if you chose a different plan? What if you deliberately carved out a plan B and decided what it would be and were the grand architect of that? What would that look like? You get to pick it. And I suggest choosing yourself at the core of that. And that's either way, choosing you and then deciding who you want to bring into that. What happens when you do that is that you run all future decisions through the filter of, does this uphold me? Does this support me as my highest self? And when you are showing up as your highest self in that new constructed plan B, the people around you will feel it and benefit from it. You are now this person who is telling the truth, standing firm in who you are, what your gifts are, how you can show up in the world, how you can help other people, and again, who you want to bring into your circle. I remember a time a while back when I was feeling pretty triggered. My brain was freaking out and telling me that I was stuck and that things would always be hard and that I would never feel whatever it was I wanted to feel that way. And I was creating so much drama in my brain. I felt really panicked. Well, guess what? In that time, I took myself to plan B. I went there in my mind. I went, okay, if I decided to walk away from it all, what would I do? Where would I go? Where would I live? Where would I want to live? Who would I want to spend my life by? How would I survive financially? I took my brain through all of that. I really went there. I visualized it. I came up with a plan. I had this idea that I'd go live by my sister, who I miss and don't get to see very often, and that our kids could play together. And that plan, just having that in my mind and going, yeah, I actually could do that, calmed me down. It helped me remember that I always have a choice, and it also helped me to remember that I like the choice that I am currently making, that I want to keep choosing it. I want to stay. But taking my brain to that plan B and actually feeling into it, even some of the fear and discomfort, helped me to more deliberately step back into plan A. So this is going to be a shorter podcast today. That's about all I have for you with this one. I want to encourage you to go spend time looking at your plan B. What are you avoiding? What are you not willing to look at because it feels too scary? Often we find that when we step into that plan B and really see what it is and what it feels like, we become less afraid of it. We realize that we actually can do it, that we can make it happen. We remember resources that we have. We remember tools and skills that we have. When we are looking at things through the lens of fear, it generally shuts us down. It takes us away from problem-solving abilities and shuts us down. When we lean into figuring things out and seeing what solutions are, like I said before, the fear can most certainly be there, but it is not driving the show. You, with your highest brain, is driving the show, really seeing what's possible for you and then deciding from that place which house you want to live in. Do you want to live in the one with the leaky roof and the drafty windows, or do you want to live in the other one with the cracks in the tile and the various problems that are there? There's things to love about both. There's things to maybe not love about both, but you're choosing with your eyes wide open and realizing that you always, always have a choice. You always have a choice. So go find what that choice is, get clear about it, and then own the choice that you make. All right, take care, my friends. Have a wonderful week, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to the Heal from Infidelity podcast. If you would like to be kept in the know about upcoming free classes, new podcast episodes, and other ways of working with me, go subscribe to my weekly email. You can subscribe at andreagiles.com/lies-about-infidelity/. Again, it's andreagiles.com/lies-about-infidelity/. I will see you next time.